Hi guys, I got some more stories for you. I found a few that I thought you guys would enjoy this evening. I haven't read these yet, but they're out of one of the same books, so I'm sure the stories will be good. We're going to try to get through 3 or 4 of them if they are short enough. We'll see how time goes. The first one is called Only Human. The hospital delivery room was cold, so cold. Or maybe it was just me. I shivered from head to toe. I hadn't felt that way when delivering my first 3 children, but everything about this pregnancy was different. My due date had come and gone with several bouts of false labor. The doctor finally decided to give me a hormone to speed up the birth process. It seemed like the IV drip the nurse had put in my arm was pumping ice water into my veins. Jim, my husband, stood by my side in his mask and hospital scrubs, holding my hand. Nurses bustled in and out of the room, checking me often as the labor progressed. I didn't say anything about the cold. I didn't want to worry anybody. An older nurse I hadn't seen before walked across the room and laid her hand on my right shoulder. "My goodness, you need warming up," she said. "I'll be back." She returned quickly with a quilt that felt fresh from the dryer. I snuggled into its soft, heavenly warmth. My shivers subsided. Labor progressed, and soon I gave birth to a healthy baby boy, weighing in at 6 pounds 11 ounces. I was taken to another room to rest. Jim sat next to me. "I'm so glad the nurse brought me that warm quilt," I told him. "I was so cold I didn't think I could make it." Jim looked at me oddly. "I was right there beside you. Nobody brought in a quilt." So that must have been an angel watching over her that brought her in a quilt to help warm her. This one is about a little girl, a little 4-year-old girl who lost her dog. To Jack in Heaven, a letter from a 4-year-old to her beloved dog. No matter how gently our veterinarian broke the news to me, nothing could prepare me for the shock I felt at having to put our beloved golden retriever Jack to sleep. When I walked out of his office, empty blue leash dangling from my hand, I couldn't believe he was gone. Beside me, my 8-year-old Daniel wiped the tears from his face. He'd bravely insisted on being his buddy till the end. I was grateful his baby brother Colin was too young to understand what was going on. My husband Ted, Daniel, and I walked back to the car, where a family friend waited for our 4-year-old Anna. "Let's go home," Ted said quietly. He started up the car, but he forgot Jack. Jack said, "Isn't he coming home with us?" Ted and I looked sadly at each other. We thought we'd explained all this to Anna. It looked like she hadn't understood after all. "Jack isn't coming home with us, honey," Ted said. "Remember, the vet said he was very sick." "The vet couldn't make Jack better," Anna Daniel said. "Do you understand, sweetie?" I asked. Jack died." Anna nodded slowly. Ted backed out the car. Then from the car seat came Anna's voice again. "But where is he?" she said, starting to cry. "When is he coming home?" Daniel tried to comfort his sister. I looked helplessly at Ted. Her older brother could comprehend what was happening. Her baby brother wasn't aware of anything at all. Poor Anna was stuck in the middle. That night when I tucked her into bed, I tried to cheer her up with the happy stories of Jack. "When we brought you home from the hospital right after you were born, Jack came running to the door, wagging his tail. He couldn't wait to meet you." Anna looked longingly at the door to her bedroom. Usually when I tucked Anna into bed, Jack would come paddling right in behind me. Anna never went to sleep without getting a big sloppy goodnight kiss from Jack. "He's never coming home," she said, "ever." "Jack was very old," I said. "He didn't feel very well." "He's not sick anymore. He's in heaven with God and the angels, and he's very happy there, I promise." Was any of this making sense to her? We talked about heaven, but this was Anna's first experience with death. She hadn't known anyone else who had died and gone to heaven. She knew she had family who lived far away. We didn't see them in person, but they loved Anna and knew she loved them in return. They gave me an idea. "Why don't you write a letter to Jack tomorrow?" I said. "You could tell him how much you loved him." Anna smiled. She loved writing letters. I knew she would expect a return letter like she got when she wrote to her aunts and uncles, but maybe just talking to Jack would be a comfort. Early the next morning, Anna got out her crowns and sat down at the table at the dining room. Anna selected just the right shade of yellow and drew a circle for a head, followed by a circle body and 4 legs. Then she added Jack's long, feathery tail. "Jack loved to play house," she said as she drew and dressed up. "And he could never keep those sunglasses on, could he?" I said, remembering good old Jack sitting patiently in his dress while Anna arranged jewelry around his neck. Anna selected another crown to make a stick figure with long hair next to Jack. Then she added a bright yellow sun. When the portrait was finished, she dictated a letter. "Jack is sick, so now he is in heaven," she said. "I love you and miss you." She signed her name in a lopsided letters. "Now we need to send this to Jack." I placed the letter in an envelope and wrote the address on the back, "To Jack in heaven." Anna licked the envelope, and together we put it in the mailbox. Our mail carrier looked a little confused when she picked the letter up a couple hours later, but I went outside to quickly explain the situation. "No problem," she said, and slipped the letter into her bag. Once the letter was gone, I could only hope I'd done the right thing. Anna's questions seemed to have stopped, but I wondered if she could really understand that Jack was in a truly happy place, and because of that, we could be happy for him. "She'll understand it on her own time," said Ted one day yet after another discussion. Just before lunch, there was a knock at the door. It was someone from the post office. He held up a box wrapped in brown paper. "Are you Miss Anna Baker?" he asked, looking down. Anna nodded shyly. "I have a special delivery for you." The box was addressed to Anna. The return address read Jack in heaven. Anna ran with her box to the kitchen. "I managed the post office and saw your letter," the man explained. "We lost our family dog recently. I have a daughter too. Back in the kitchen with Anna, I helped her unwrap the package." She pulled out a book with a puppy and a stuffed dog that looked a lot like Jack. She squeezed the dog to her chest. "There's a letter too," she said. "Read it, Mommy." "Dear Anna," it read, "I have arrived safely in heaven." Anna's eyes got wide. "Does he like it there?" I continued, "It's really nice here." The other dogs and I play ball and swim all day. There are many squirrels to chase here, and all the mail carriers have bones in their bags for us. Anna giggled. "My bed here isn't as comfy as yours, but I want you to know that God takes good care of me here." I looked down on Anna, who nodded slowly. She understands that, I thought. Jack went on to say how happy he was to receive Anna's letter. "I miss my family. I miss you," he finished up. "God sends his blessings and wants you to know that he loves you. We will both be watching over you. Love, Jack." I folded up the letter and handed it back to Anna. She danced around the kitchen. That night I tucked Anna into bed with her stuffed dog beside her. "Jack is in heaven," she said. "Jack is happy there, and that makes me happy too." Anna would be fine, I knew, thanks to a letter that truly did come from heaven, by way of the post office angel with a loving heart. About didn't make it through that one. Let's see here. I don't know what this story is about. This video is 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video anyways, because that next story, I'm not sure what it is. So I'm going to stop the videos for tonight, guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of the evening. I love you guys. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye.